Welcome to the AV Life podcast. We are here and we are ready to discuss all things AV. Nancy?
Hi, this is Nancy Blanchard at Nancy Blanchard, and you are listening to and watching the AV Life.
This is Joe Way with the University of Southern California Higher Ed AV, HETMA, and all things about my book, Producing Worship. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
Hey, Kim Frank, Geopath President. You are watching and listening to the AV Life.
Hey, this is James here, writer for the Higher Ed AV Digital Magazine, IT and AV column, and newly appointed 3-year term to HETMA board.
And my name is Murphy Daly, AV writer and project manager and AV veteran. I am hosting in the absence of Tim Van Wert. Tim, whom we honor greatly on this day because it is his birthday. Happy birthday, Tim.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tim.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Hey.
Yay.
And we'll just got to say, on this day, you are our second favorite AV Life host.
Oh.
Tim's our second favorite. No,
Yeah.
he'd make our third. Murphy, you're our second. And of course, Corey is our first. So there we go.
I thought you were claiming yourself as the first.
No, I've never actually hosted this. I'm just thinking, he took a weekend off and I didn't even get it thrown to me. I mean,
He knew you would just take over.
We're at 2 minutes and 13 seconds in and I've already taken over. So there you go.
How you do, you drive.
I'm done. Just let me know when you need to hit happy birthday again.
There's been a lot of activity this week. I thought there was some AV activity and there was some activity in the wider world. My excitement is me and Joe and Nancy here in California have news from our governor who said in June 15th, he promises we'll all be free to move about the country, which is really exciting. I can't wait.
It is, but you're so used to being in your house that all of a sudden it's like, what? There's a world out there?
Breaking news sound. Hold on. Breaking news sound. Okay, now there we go. I was a little late on
Breaking news. The governor has things to say.
Yes. Oh, we all know about that because of the petition that was signed that if he didn't open up.
Yeah, he felt some compulsion to take action.
Yeah, there was an incentive. Yeah.
His PR person said there's no correlation between him being kicked out of office and opening up the state. You have to believe the PR people.
It's because he wants to go to the French Laundry legitimately.
He has more lobbyists to meet with.
Wait, so that means I think there's a California outing waiting to happen. So The question is Nancy coming down and going to Disney with us, or are we going up there and doing Napa with her?
That's right. We can frolic in
Disney.
We could go to the governor's winery. Even better.
I didn't realize that. I think I read that.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I still don't think that Disney's ready. I'm a DVC member, and even I'm hesitant about going right now because there's only certain rides open and certain attractions.
DVC?
Yeah, Disney Vacation Club.
Oh, right. That's right.
So Grand Californian is my resort.
Wow.
That's
a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's so not on my list of top places I'm looking forward to going. I want to just go get my nails done and someone to cut my hair other than me. You guys are setting the bar really high.
You guys, in other news, my husband got Johnson & Johnson vaccinated. Nice. Of the many.
One and done.
Of the 3, yeah. And so he's recovering.
Well, can you have a choice as to which manufacturer you want to have? Or is it just depends at the stations?
you got to go find out who's giving out what. So he got himself, 3 different appointments, and he picked the one. He's like, oh, I want to get the Pfizer because Moderna, I hear, kicks your butt. And then he got that one settled. And then he found out that there was a place that was doing Johnson & Johnson. So he kept the other one, but went to the one. Once he got the Johnson & Johnson, he canceled the other. Which
I actually get my second shot of Pfizer tomorrow.
I'm all
we are
done.
free to move about the country.
I actually, my mom got Moderna, so she's done. My brother got Pfizer, his first one, like a week ago. And if I recall correctly, I think everyone in my department, except for one person, has at least their first shot.
Mm-hmm.
I had a vendor email me today saying, I got my vaccine. When we having lunch? I'm like, oh, life is good. Let's start lining up those vendor visits. We can do it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking forward to the golf tournaments, Joe. That's what I want. I want to get back on the course.
Am I seeing you on Monday? Are you coming?
What's Monday?
Sure's tournament is on Monday.
Oh, no. If it's an integrator, then yes, like Avidex or Spinatar, but
I guess you wouldn't do that, would you? Yeah.
I would go to Sure. Who do you know there?
Well, Spinatar's is coming up in
November.
Yeah, November. Yeah.
November.
Well, then September's Avidex,
Mm-hmm.
but up here, I don't know if they have it, but sure. Okay, you've got your contacts. There has to be some way.
Well, I've got my spots. I'm ready to. Oh yeah. So when everyone is listening to this, when it's released on Monday, I'll be out on the course.
That's right.
Spending a hard day out on the course.
Posting pics.
I will.
About it.
Actually, the funny thing is, I'll be in the clubhouse. I'm speaking to a group in Wisconsin at 9 a.m. and then I'm going to go from there and tee off at 10. So here we go. Double duty in it. Exciting things that no one listening.
What's happening on the other side of the country? Kim and James, what's going on over there?
Same old, same old. New Jersey's still locked down.
Yeah, actually, they're starting to ease up on quarantines when you return from travel outside of the state, which is kind of nice. If you've been vaccinated twice and you're outside of that window, you don't necessarily need to quarantine for 2 weeks. So that's exciting. My kids are going back to school in person next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you excited about it?
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. They're nervous. Like, they haven't had to wear shoes in a year. So just like the whole change of pace of you have to get up at a certain time and there's going to be people and it's just so exciting. I cannot wait for them to just have a little more normalcy in their day-to-day lives. It'll still be like 9 to noon, I think, 9 to 12:30. So real short day. There's no lunch there. They don't want the kids necessarily all eating in the building. So they'll come home at lunchtime and then do virtual the second half of the day. I'm so excited.
My girls went back physically for 4 days a week, full day, lunch and everything. And that was their own choice. The wife and I, we talked about it and we knew that schools were shutting down and opening up, shutting down, and we didn't want that up and down for them. So we opted for all virtual. But then when they decided that they had the option to go back, the girls came to us and go, we want to go back. So we're letting them. They're on spring break this week, but next week, again, they're back.
Yeah, ours are on spring break and we just got a note from the school that there's a positive case of someone in the building. So, and the school's been closed now for 5 days. So it had to have been somebody who was in the school building the week before. But it's like, oh, just before we were about to go back, we got one more email. Can this please be the last one? Just so looking forward, like my staff is starting to talk about coming back to the office. I'm really excited to get back into New York City. The traffic's apparently appalling because everybody's driving into New York now to go to work. So, but just really excited to the possibility to have lunch with like partners in crime, friends, clients and stuff. It's just.
So Kim, though, we had an episode a while back mid pandemic where you were like, well, maybe I don't even need to keep my Times Square place.
Yeah, I was
Right.
just thinking
So
that.
what happened to that? So now you're like, oh, no. I want my peeps.
I want to go back. But I think we're talking about now is like, how do we re-envision the space that we have in New York? Since, we all had this was my desk and this is where I sat and this is where I put my plant and, my tchotchkes or whatever. And now we're starting to think, well, maybe we don't need like a formal office setup. Maybe we have something that's more of a collaborative environment, a social environment for the days when we are in the city. And then, the days when we're not, I don't see we'll be there for 5 days a week. So let's come up with a more creative way to use the space that we have that can allow us to really work together when we're together, rather than working in the same room but separately, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So more collaboration time, more face time while we're there, maximize that we're there in person, and then have more flex family, work from home environment for everybody on the days that we're not.
Does that make it cost effective to be in New York, though, to do that?
Does it make it cost effective?
Like if you're going to say, okay, you can be flexible, you don't have to be here all the time, you're not getting.
Well, I'm sure you could get a really great deal on office space right now in New York if you weren't already in a lease like I am. But rather than, we'll probably try and see what we can do financially, of course. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time, and I think we're all just really missing each other and missing a physical whiteboard being in the room with us so we could scope out problems and being able to order lunch because we're working so hard that we don't want to get up from the conference room table. Yep. It seemed way more intriguing 6 months ago than it does now. Now I just want to get back into the office.
Agreed.
A lot of things that feel like they were ordinary before that now seem exotic. Like,
it's
wow,
funny,
can we really do that?
Back when Corey was hosting these podcasts, it was the only time I was ever on Zoom. So it was so novel to be on these Zoom calls with people from all over the country, and it became so not novel so quickly. I'm hoping that there will be a time where my Zoom calls will be AV Life podcasts mostly, and the rest will be in person.
Okay. So all of us here on this call, on this particular episode, because we are the AV Life. We know the AV Life. We understand how to be on a Zoom call. This leads me right into my PM minute. I don't know if you guys saw my video that I put up last week on LinkedIn. I had a day of vendor meetings. At the end of the day, I was just very tired of the environment that I was in. So, Kim, you said it. We're on a lot of calls. Project managers lead meetings. That's what we have to do. And all of us have to be in meetings. All of us now are in Zoom meetings to communicate with each other while we're all separate, right? And we hope to be in the same building soon. It's going to be so fun and exotic, and it'll be amazing. And we forgot that after people get in rooms together and they're drinking coffee, their bad breath makes the whole room smell bad. But we forgot that. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. But right now, we're still on Zoom all the time. And when I was in like vendor meeting, demoing, like 6 hours of meetings over 2 days. And the funny thing is, none of them had their cameras on. I'm like, are you selling to me? Turn your camera on. I'm the only one with my camera on. And I wasn't even the real audience. I was there because I had to be. So I did a video called How to Be Zoomogenic. And this is the PM minute. How to be Zoomogenic. Here on this call, we know how to do that. Number one, turn your camera on. So if you're leading a meeting through Zoom, be there, turn your camera on, and be ready with your hand to unmute yourself. Fast, be there. Don't go and then go, oh, someone asked me specifically a question. I go, where's the click? Oh, and like 2 minutes later, finally find the unmute and say, yes. So be ready with the mute. And also, when you're in the call, act like you're there. Make your face respond with emotions and give give feedback through your camera. You don't always have to have your mic unmuted, but if you have your camera on, you can show people that you're paying attention and give responses and keep the meeting going. So this is a skill that is surprisingly rare. Even after we've been doing nothing but Zoom for a year, people still don't know. And so I did my public service announcement on how to be more Zoomogenic, like photogenic. So that's my PM minute for today. And I will, I'll give a link to that particular little video I did, because I'm just like,
I've heard a lot of griping about that lately, that people get on meetings and they're the only one with the camera on. And I don't know if everyone's just gotten sick of looking at their own faces.
No, I had it even early on. I had tweeted about it and someone said, well, there are people that are uncomfortable with being on the camera. So, you should sort of have like a little empathy. But I used to tell the consultants, I said, listen, I took the time to do my hair and put makeup on. So could you please turn your video camera on? Because I've never met you. So I'd like to have a name to a face. And then they'd put it on. But I mean, you don't know if they're necessarily listening to you. They're probably working off to the side and doing things. It's just that you can't see it.
We started right after lockdown started at my office having morning stand-ups for 5 minutes, and it was like mandatory camera time. And
Wow.
Early on, it was almost a safety check-in, like, is everybody okay? Because it was so chaotic. No one knew what was going on in the world. We were checking in because so much of the staff was in New York City. So it was just like, how is everybody doing? And it seemed very quaint in the beginning. And now, a year and a month later, we're still every morning having these 5-minute meetings. But in a way, it was good because it did kind of force you, get up, get dressed, do your hair, feel like a human being, don't Zoom in from your bed. Although, like, it definitely had roller coasters.
Don't start that way.
Yeah, like just 9:45 a.m. should be late enough to have brushed your teeth and be dressed. So every morning for the last year and a half, we've looked at each other on Zoom calls.
Well, see, what used to be exotic, Zoom for most people, is now ordinary. And what used to be ordinary, going to the office, is now exotic. But I mean, yeah, this over the COVID time, that's what I did when I would get up and I would do my videos, my little morning videos. And that helped me to have a reason to, be presentable, be camera ready at the beginning of the day. I didn't necessarily have to be clean, but I had to be camera ready. Let's be honest. Pants optional, and shower optional, but I could be ready. And that got me through when I lost my job the first time. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I still have to do this. And then it became even more important because it was more marketing at that point. It wasn't just friendly. It was like, hi, anybody, I can do work for you if you want to hire me. And then I got hired and then, did it again. So kept going. That's what it's motivating to be professional, even when you're working from home. And that's part of what we do here, us AV people.
Well,
the video conveys information.
Well, what's going to be interesting is if we think about the future, when a lot of us are back in the office, but some employees are still at home. And now those who go into the office are going to get dressed up. You have to look professional. Is there going to be a sense that your video, especially if you just do the, gonna put it on, not put your camera on, which means then you leave the screen and you're not seen, is there out of sight, out of mind? Right. And then how do you do your self-ups? But then how do you do it when somebody presents to the screen that's in the conference room and now you're not seen again? There's going to be a lot of dynamics that what I'm looking for is look at 2 years from now. How will bonuses, how will merit increases work? Will it naturally you give them as a leader? The people who are there with you every day, do they naturally start to feel like they've done more because you have a personal connection? How does that biology side work versus those who you never see, right? Or you just see them because they call into a meeting. And or when you're on site, if you're spending half your days still on Zoom meetings because everyone's not in the office, then what's the point of going to the office? I mean, what will that look like?
That's a good
It's
point.
been really easy when we were all or nothing, but what happens when it's a mix? You know, like, I don't know. And that's what we're going to have to see. And what is that new dynamic that we're going to end up working on, and what that will end up being like? I don't know. I don't think any of us know.
There's
I
also
know I'm out of Crown Royal though. So hold on.
there's also another element that it's gonna probably start rearing its head, and that's legal ramification. I'm actually, for my class, I'm working on a paper talking about how to. I'm hoping to find cases and stuff. I'm still in the early stages of it, but applying workplace policies to people who are working from home. And like, you got Title VII, you got Title IX, you got harassments, and you got all these other things that you have to be mindful of and legally. And how are you going to apply that to somebody who's, working from home? Especially, say, are they using their personal device? Now, is the information on there your business information, or is it the personal information? And how do you apply that?
These are all the questions that have to be sorted out. What with this new experiment that we've all had, that people can work from home, and then people have had their homes moved. People have said, what if I worked from, my parents' house, because I'm worried about them? And what if I, go to different places? What if I go work? Sometimes they've gone and lived for part of the well, what it's continuing part of the quarantine in different countries. They've moved around, and that has tax implications for sure. That's taxes, and work safety, and people are having to learn to employers are having to learn to trust the users or the employees and work it out. And I've been enjoying, this reminds me of, I've been enjoying learning my martial arts. It's been a lot of fun. The last 5 months, I've been learning about how to defend myself and fight. And we go to the classes and we practice with one another. And we hold like pads, and they're like, punch me, and punch them. And the teacher, the sensei, says, you need to communicate with each other. You need to communicate and say, hit harder because we're practicing, and I want, to really get the effect of this, and we need to get stronger and to learn more, or be lighter because that hurt. So you have to communicate. And it's been really wonderful to be with a lot of strangers and develop that trust, and really do something hard and trust one another that we're doing it together. And even sometimes I have been hurt. People hit me right when we were practicing with sticks. Someone hit me right here, and it hurt a lot. And it was like swollen for like several days afterwards. But I'm like, it's okay. I'll get over it. We're working on this together. And she's my friend. So now that we've been through this for a couple months, so you have to forgive each other. You have to communicate, say what is important. I'm surprised at how silent you are, Joe.
I'm just listening and learning. Well, I don't have to be silent. We can do this. What do we want?
No, I'm just like, wait.
We can do the theme music again. Here we go. We're going take 2, going right at it, rocking it out to the theme music.
Well,
so I don't know. I think this is the whole thing about like what. By the way, Tim, your theme music just stops. Like, it doesn't fade. It just stops. Did anyone ever know? Like,
I noticed that.
Like, I always thought it was just a cut it. I didn't realize this is actually the thing here. But okay, I digress.
That's how he likes it.
Here, I'll do it again. So we'll do take 3 on this. We'll rock out again. Now listen, hold on, it's coming. Don't you want like a little drum ending?
You should sit down real quick when that happens.
Do we know any drummers?
We could get. hold on. I might actually have the full version of the song, considering I sent him, because that's what happens when you have a stock, an account for all stock images, videos, music, and you just say, "Hey, you need theme music? Go check this out. Let me know which one you want." And that's how we got this. If you want to know the backstory behind the new theme song,
we might have to talk later.
Wow.
I might have the full version of it, but I digress, because we were talking about work from home and no longer work from home, and all that stuff. And it's interesting. Oh, and communicating.
James, does your homework talk about that? Do they talk about trying to have communication? Because I know when you get into the legal part of it, they're like, no, just follow the law and don't go away from it. So,
So the class I'm taking right now is it's called P-Law. I'm thinking to P stand for public law. And it's basically about ethics and business law. So it's strictly a law course. And our paper that we have to do is we have to take a workplace law, like a Title VII, sexual harassment, or discrimination and stuff, and write about, like, find cases and talk about those cases. So we had a option to choose whatever we want to write about. So no, communication is not talked about. Where is Josh when you need him?
I know, Josh.
But yeah, it's a good course, but not really related to AV.
One of my colleagues at my job is very young, and he'll be graduating with his bachelor's degree in some kind of computer science in a couple months. And we were saying, man, how does he find the time? We're very busy, and yet we're proud of him. So you too are doing that hard work.
Was it, you said his master's in computer science or bachelor's?
Very young.
All right.
He's young. We've got
So is he
newly hatched?
Intern?
Excuse me?
Is he an intern then? No.
We took who we could find. He's really good though.
So here's the full song if we need to go.
Oh boy.
So now watch, at 14 seconds, it's not going to die. Ready? Here we go. Wait, it died. What the heck? How does 3 megabytes of this stuff die? Hold on. Wait, what is going on here? Oh, this isn't good. Oh, man. See, all right. Well, I'm going to have to, by the closing, I will get this. I'll get the full version of this by the closing.
I think we have to say which theme song's better, the higher ed AV or the AV Life.
Come on, mine's a banger. It's kind of got that funky, worth all $8 I paid for it.
Yours is definitely, that's a good one, but the AV Life one just gets you up and pumped. Ooh.
That one,
Yeah.
Dude, this makes me remember back in the Corey days where we would just play rock and roll music that came up, whatever. Those were good.
No, Corey's Rush. He's Rush. That's all that he does.
Yeah, but he would we would just do the random, whatevers, and those were good old days when, okay, well, let's see. What do we mean? Make sure it's not a commercial. Oh, it's a commercial. No commercials. We can't have a commercial. I can't do anything about the commercial. Sorry, but ad's gonna stop in 6 seconds. 5, 7, 3, 2, 1, and then here we go. And for Corey, we'll play some Rush just for Corey. That's what happens when you're going on YouTube for it. So there you go. We could have just turned this into DJ night. Have people call in.
I think there are some problems with having, intellectual property that's not ours.
Probably that one. I own the other two. So, and we're going to give proper credit to Rush Limelight, the official music video. It is from the Rush site. So we will let you know, for those of you who would like to hear this, you could go to youtube.com / equals
Wow.
capital ZI,
Okay.
capital RUJ2 _ CZZW. There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Rush albums. Did that take care of our legal requirement? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, if I have, I have my sets of go-tos when I have to use things off the internet. I make sure that they're not licensed and all that. Like, what is it? Something for reuse, available for reuse. But
Creative license.
Yeah. Creative license or something like that.
Like
Some of
public
those folks
domain.
are pretty aggressive too. Like they must have a team of people that just like scour the web looking for their stock image that someone used with no license. We've gotten bills for it before. Like if we host a conference and videotape the speakers and the speaker didn't have a license for a photo that they had in their PowerPoint, because it's on my YouTube page, we get charged for it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Speaking of self-promotion, because we know Joe loves self-promotion. Not sure if you guys seen that Steve Greenblatt and I have teamed up into a new project. It's a podcast YouTube video series called Ask the Programmer, where we're building a community of questions from AV programmers, and we're addressing it.
That's really great.
I listened to the first one. Yep.
Yeah, we have a couple more coming out. We got 2 up right now, and another one should be coming up this week.
All right. So I'm thinking programming, in my experience, has kind of 2 aspects. There's control programming and the audio programming, which I'm not even sure, it's kind of like its own thing, but like the stuff that has to take like a file that you have to put into the system.
Well, you got to get into the whole definition of programming then, because like if you like a DSP, a lot of people say, hey, you're programming DSP, and someone like me who's done line code, that is not programming, that is configuring.
Okay.
I agree.
So it's depending on how you define, but yeah, we're just talking about programming in general. So we probably will cover all topics from configuration to real line code.
The experience of the person doing the DSP is a configuration. Me standing back and watching, it just looks like, oh, they're doing programming. They're doing a thing.
Yeah. Look, programming is the part of the project that this is it. It's the part you overpay for that you never see.
And you don't know.
No idea what's going on. They just tell you it's 100 hours and you're like, and it's the biggest line item on the entire thing.
And
unless you have in-house programmer.
Yeah.
Read my latest article.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking of, I think it just came out, or it's about to come out. I did an article about the bill of materials for the rave agency. And, but I'm thinking, I'm like, well, now I'm on a roll because I'm like, I'm going to break down all the parts of the project, and programming is one of the things I have on my list. Like, oh, I'm going to talk about how that happens and what it takes to do that. But I know how to arrange for it to be done, but I don't know how to do it. You are the one who knows how to do it, James.
Yeah, definitely reach out.
And the audio part, programmers can talk about their programming, but people who do the audio can barely talk about that. They just live in this other world, and they don't even have the ability to communicate about it.
I've found audio is something I'm learning new every day. When I first started, to me, audio was there or it wasn't there. Other than that, I didn't care. But I have learned a lot since taking over projects, doing DSP configurations and stuff. So I can't speak much about audio like some people can, but it's definitely a big system to fully understand audio.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
So Nancy, what's happening in your world? You are
Same old, same old. Housework, hike, repeat. Yeah, 3 minutes from me is the Santa Cruz Mountains. So I've just been going on the same trail, but it's a good workout.
3 minutes.
Yeah, by car.
That means you're in the Santa Cruz Mountains. You're already there.
No. But my neighborhood is close to a trail that is in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Yeah, literally where I am is I'm down the street from Los Gatos, not far from Campbell, 30 minutes to Santa Cruz, 4 hours to Tahoe, 6.5 down to Joe and to you.
That's a beautiful place to live, Nancy.
Yeah. I've been here since 97. That's why I haven't moved.
That's a good time for you to be there. Good times.
But not too much. I was asking our company, I said, so when am I coming out to the office, which is in Minnesota? And then there was like a long pause. And then my manager said, well, maybe April, May timeframe. So the sales guys are just slowly beginning to get out on the road, but it's still sort of, cautious. I mean, we were always on the road, always. So there is talk about us participating in the Kavlo trade show, May 13th.
I will be there. I will be on a panel. So
I may see
you've got to come down to Vegas. I'm really excited to be in Vegas, getting out there. Don't wait. We're all going to be safe. I'm arriving a day early because I know vendors are going to be pulling in and there's going to be lots of, I plan on, I just hope that my panel is not at 9 a.m. Let's just say that, because there will be, actually, you might get Salty Joe at 9 a.m. So that could actually be good.
It could.
Because 10 a.m. Joe will have had 2 mimosas by then in order to recover from the fact that he just got to see all his vendors for the first time in months from the night before. 12 p.m. Joe. No, you probably want 12 p.m. Joe. That's about the time where we're going to level off before lunch, Joe.
In from the night before.
That's
what
it.
A good hotel room.
What I haven't decided is whether or not I'm staying after and going to party with Frank and the UNLV bunch for the weekend. That's what I haven't figured out yet. So, but yes, no, it's going to be a great in-person local trade show conference. Everyone should get out there. I'm going to be part of an education panel, of course, where we're going to talk about kind of what's going ahead, looking at integrated systems throughout, like from from everything from here. I'll even pull the email up and tell you the title of it. How about this? We're teasing this. Let me pull it up here. I'm working. I'm just saying things into the mic to kill time while I find the email. And here we go. It is called The Evolution of Educational Technology from Overhead Projectors to Virtual Classrooms, Mass Notification, and Beyond. It's at the Orleans.
Do you think, are classrooms going to get those like schedules like meeting rooms have?
Oh, you mean the scheduling panel outside?
Yeah.
We've been putting them all in. We've actually... No, here's the thing. You know what, James? Just go back to your school. So here, let me tell you how we do it. All right. I know we almost got a good pew here. We are doing all of that. And the reason is, and it started because of, I don't know why it started with, you can't touch, so therefore put on a sign. But we realized all the other things that we can do. Hey, Mr. Cybersecurity guy, let me tell you right now, if you're using a touch panel that you're actually can send anything to, including a video feed, what happens if there's an active shooter holding up inside that room, I can turn that touch panel into eyes into that room.
Yes, you can.
That's creepy.
That's all I needed to say. And I won that small little firing range.
Shoot the guy back. Lasers?
So I have right now. I have
I want lasers.
I have about 80
Set
room
to stun.
schedule panels. We've installed these way before COVID. They are definitely the wow factor. And I will give you that. They are a wow factor. And this is conversations I have with manufacturers who tried to sell me theirs over the current one we're using. And all I do is show them the hallway and I go,
Can you say what?
What?
Can you say which one?
I will not go that way.
Okay.
But we can look down our hallways and it could be about 5-6 classroom length hallways, and you can see every single display if it's rooms open or not. And a lot of the other manufacturers, their indicator lights are not that big or bright. But they're nice. I'll admit they give the wow factor, but from a support nightmare, oh God, they're my vein of my existence. But they're the ones we use are PoE. So rebooting them is nice and all that stuff, but they talk to our scheduling system. But there's a delay there at times. We don't go as fancy as some places like USC. So ours is more of just a sign sitting outside the room saying it's open or not, which is nice. It's a nice feature, but me personally, I wish we would use them for more than just that. But unfortunately, we don't.
Well, maybe if they work the whole time.
They do. I mean, their reliability of them pretty good. I will give them that. The reliability is pretty good. But like I said, I personally feel if we use them to their full extent, the value's there. But it's more of gives that definitely the wow factor. And trust me, I know students and faculty and staff members do enjoy seeing those. So I guess we're getting our money's worth. But then again, I'm the one who has to mount them to the wall and make sure the cables are coming down and are up. And it's just a support nightmare.
Well, so Joe, I think you have something to share about what's going on with Hetma.
Dude. Oh, wait, I don't have my breaking news up again. So what should we use as breaking news?
There we go. Okay,
I have the full version of the song now. That'll be all right. So I'm going to put this on behind. So it's going to be mood music as I break the news. So
broken. Hetma.
What happened? It stopped again. All right. So here we go. It's 3 megs. How did it stop? All right. So here we go. Yeah. So the funny thing is we're talking about the Cavlo and we're talking about, things with manufacturers. So Hetma this last week, we formalized, I got the email this morning. We are officially a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which means that, yes, you can send us money. I mean, that we can legally buy insurance and protect ourselves in our institutions. But really, and we actually voted in our first board of directors, which is exciting because the thing about Cavlo and why I said, well, why does this relate is there was supposed to be a cage match between myself and Brock McGinnis talking about whether or not end users should be allowed to buy direct. And, this is something that Hetma is here in order to discuss, how we can better advocate for the fact that we are in-house integrators. We welcome James he is part of the executive board and he was voted into our 3-year at large, right? So we have, it's actually really exciting. So the way we worked our board is that we have 7 positions that are voting members, which is myself as the chair, BC is the vice chair from Vanderbilt. And then we have our secretary, Annie, from Elizabethtown College in Pennsylvania. And then we have, James, Aaron is the 2-year at large. Tim is the 1-year at large. And our treasurer is Dean from West Point, formerly West Point. And now, and then we have a bunch of chairs, including an approved program. We're doing we have a diversity, equity, and inclusion chair, as well as, in order to, because we believe in making sure that we are very representative women and underrepresented demographics are represented within our industry. Our focus groups, we have our membership chair. We have 7 or 8 different chairs, our conference that we run. So we have a very large list of things we want to get done, including our Buy Direct program and our certified stuff. Yes. And really the key thing is my vision looking forward. I want to walk on the Infocom floor in October, and I want to see the HETMA seal, which Lex said today during our general meeting that we're going to end up doing. And I want to see it as in this product is approved by HETMA. We put our stamp on it, that we've had input into the manufacturer process, and that's exactly what we want to be doing. And we're excited to take this first step. We have some amazing announcements to come, not just announcing that we became an official org, but that's all I'm going to say, because I've had some crowns. So I'm going to stop. Or I'm going to give away some major things that are happening with this org that lets us know that we keep saying that we're slow rolling it. There's no slow rolling this thing anymore. We're a monster.
So I would like to add, I want to add some things there. I think that Joe might have missed when he was describing some things. The big thing I want to say is, if you look at the board that got voted in, the executive board and the chair, it's a diverse board, and that was done organically. Like, there was a poll put out to the members for nominations. Each seat, except for one, had multiple people, and I think there was a diverse person nominated for every seat except for the one who was a solo run. Then
no one wants to be treasurer.
Yeah, who wants to deal with money? Sorry, Dean. And then the members who actually got voted in, and like I said, it was a very diverse group. And shout out to Annie, because he is a department of 1 in her school. So
1.
Support,
1. Programming, design, install. She is on our board. Yes.
Fantastic.
It excited me. But yeah, I mean, so therefore, to all the manufacturers, integrators who are listening to the show, because I know you do, because I see the stats, because I host it. I encourage you all to reach out to us, because we want to form key strategic partnerships with you. We understand that as a higher ed vertical, we control $22.6 billion globally annually. And there is a lot that we can say and give. And we're not just looking for this for our benefit, but we know that we can be the best group of people for you to get true feedback so that you can sell to other end users, and finding that we can give input for our, what will serve our campuses, but we can also help you be able to extend your reach as well. So manufacturers and integrators.
You heard it here.
Contact at higheredav.org. Reach out.
Well, that's exciting.
Let's do
lunch.
That's
really exciting news. And that's a lot of work that you guys have put into this. Joe, I know you've spent a lot of time creating this, and it's very up and coming. We're the AV Pod Life, and AV Life wouldn't be true to itself if we didn't have some fun. Are you ready to have some fun? Let's line it up. Kim.
The firing range?
The firing range. Yes.
All right. So
this is our Jedi Kim.
I love this article that we're going to discuss today, because recently, since we've been in quarantine, we were looking for content, and realized that my husband and I both really loved the X-Files, which was on long before we were a couple, but we had not actually seen the first few seasons. So some of the later seasons didn't make any sense. So we went back and we said, we're gonna rewatch the X-Files. So on that genre.
That's a good rewatch.
Right? It's so good. And they're so young. It's like, it hurts my soul to see them so young. But there was this article in Futurism, which you guys know is my favorite firing range publication. A tweet that Elon Musk sent out a couple weeks ago saying that he had like the strongest argument against there actually being UFOs visiting the Earth. And it's more of a visual, but the graphic being that camera resolution has gotten incrementally better over the last, decade, while UFO picture resolution has maintained this terrible level of, they're always grainy and horrible. Very funny. And I think the quote was, honestly, oh there it is. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think I would know if there were aliens. Elon Musk is such a character. I just loved this article, but he's not wrong, right? Or maybe he is. So I guess that's what we'll be discussing today on the firing range is, and I don't think we need to pick teams because there's so few of us today. I think just open firing range. Let's hear your actual positions on, not necessarily is there life on other planets, but does it ever visit? And if so, has anyone ever captured it on film?
This is that's the V of the A and the V. We're not listening to aliens. We're looking for them. We want to be seeing them. Yeah. I mean, unless we've been doing it wrong. There's
all right, Murphy, who's going first? You got a call. It's your show.
Right. Okay.
How are we doing this?
So, let's start. Who's excited? Raise your hand. Who wants to go first? Nancy wants to go. Yeah, I knew someone would want to go. You go. Warm us up.
You know what? I think it's absolutely ridiculous if we don't believe in them, and especially with Elon. It's like there's dimensions. There's the universe is vast with other galaxies and things. I mean, the military have seen them, the pilots, but it's unfortunate. There was an American Airlines one just recently, and you question, well, why didn't they take a picture? But I mean, I saw one in Toronto because my ex and I, we used to watch the X-Files, Kim, and we got on top of the roof of our house and sat there, and you look up in the sky and there was one that was zigzagging. And I mean, you looked at it and there was no way that it was, a meteorite or a shooting star or anything like that. So I think I just don't understand how.
That was the night you got pregnant, right?
No, I wasn't even married.
Well, I'm not going to tell.
So Nancy is pro alien.
Yeah, I am. I think it just has to do with what I'd read. There are technologies that they're able to control, like all of a sudden the car stops and then you have no recollection of things. So, and maybe it's the speed of them in the air that our cameras just can't capture it. And that's why it's grainy. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. All right. That's definitely a pro. Who wants to be second? Do we have a con or somebody who also feels passionate?
I'll go. So I am in alignment with Nancy in that it would be really narcissistic for us to believe that we are the only life form in all of the ethos and everything in the entire beyond what we even understand to be true. I think a lot of what we end up seeing as UFO evidence, though, I have to agree with Elon Musk. It's all like grainy and terrible and horrible, and it doesn't look like anything. But at the same time, I have a cat who does this hysterical thing like every day. Oh, my son just came in. Good night, baby. I love you. All right, you're interrupting. Okay, goodbye. So I have this cat, and she does this funny thing every dang day. And she tries to jump over the dog gate we have between the kitchen, and she rocks her butt because she's too chubby. So she has to like really amp up jumping. And I want to catch that on film. She does it every day. And to this day, I've not been able to get a good video of that cat. So for that reason, I'm thinking alien. There's no way I'm capturing like a UFO on a like
aliens are cats.
That's my theory, is that cats are aliens and aliens are cats.
I see it.
So I am pro UFO, but I still am in alignment with Elon Musk. I still haven't seen a good UFO photo.
What about the people that have been abducted?
Crown Royal.
I'm not saying I don't believe that there's aliens. I've never seen a really believable.
The same as Bigfoot. Nobody has, you have all the
I am
shows
not in
on.
alignment with Bigfoot. All
Wait,
right. I can believe in aliens. I
Hey,
cannot get behind
Bigfoot is totally another category.
I
If
know.
anyone's
Totally.
seen Bigfoot, it's been our resident Canadian.
Oh,
Do we have someone who's seen Bigfoot?
Nancy, have you not seen Bigfoot?
I have not, but there
I thought-
up in the Santa Cruz Mountains, there is a Bigfoot museum that I have not been to yet. Because apparently we have them in the
of course you
mountain.
do. It's way
course.
too many chemically
But it's
enhanced
never been
people.
seen. Same thing.
Wow.
So I'll go next because I do live in southern New Jersey, and we have. I don't
Sorry
know
to hear that.
I don't know if you guys have heard. Have you heard of the Jersey Devil?
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's supposed to be in my backyard. Like that, I live in the Pine Barrens, so the Jersey Devil lives in my backyard. But I don't believe in these things. Doesn't mean they're not there. I see them, don't see them, whatever. They're all folks, Lord, to me. It's good to believe in that stuff. So I support anyone who does. But what drives me mad are how us Americans or even us humans feel that if aliens or these creatures are real, that we are superior to them. Even if their powers are better. Like you ever see all these movies and aliens come with these great technologies that are supposed to be years beyond what we can do, but we always defeat them. Why are we always superior? I don't get it. That blows my mind. And that's why I don't think aliens are real.
Pew pew. Joe Way.
All right. So part of the firing range is that sometimes you're stuck arguing for something you don't agree with. So I'm going to go in true.
Signing yourself.
Yeah. Firing range form. I am currently logged into my Tesla account and looking at all of the things that Elon is famous for. Shall we start with, of course, SpaceX, which is not on technically the Tesla account because you can't buy a rocket on it yet. But you can buy a flamethrower. Think about that.
How far does
Why would someone need to own a flamethrower?
Why not?
Maybe Elon knows something we don't know. The other thing you can buy is Tesla tequila. Why would you need a flamethrower and Tesla tequila along with a car that can self-drive? I mean, let's start putting some pieces together here, folks. The solar roof, which I have ordered for my house. Okay. I'm starting to put these together that maybe Elon's rockets are really to protect himself. Maybe his tweets, if you think about it, he's very famous for also tweeting about meme cryptocurrency. Okay. Things that most people think are not real. Yet his actions are to create things that protect him and human life from the unknown. I think Elon knows more than we think. Therefore, I believe that we must trust. And he has been sending things to space. He has created the Skynet.
Yeah.
That's true.
Think about this.
I'm excited about the Skynet.
I'm just saying.
Well done, Joe Way.
So there's one element we're missing from this firing range, and we have to bring it up, is aliens and grandma.
I was going to leave grandma out of it.
We can't leave
Grandma was
grandma.
not going to come today. Grandma she has fallen asleep.
I got abducted.
Grandma has been abducted. Now I feel like I have to find a grandma has been abducted background.
We need to hear from Murphy. Murphy, we didn't hear your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're out there, but we're looking in the wrong places. I think that they are interdimensional, and that's why they can't be captured on cameras. This is my theory. So they can move in and out of the third dimension that we live in. We can see 1, 2, and 3 dimensions pretty clearly, but they are like hopping in and out of, 4 and 5 and 6 and kind of coming in and out. So that's why our photos are all goofy. And that's also why they can get around, because they can do like Tesseract stuff.
Good points.
Yeah.
So I think what we have determined is that Elon Musk owns outer space, invents flamethrowers and tequilas, owns a cat, and cats hate flamethrowers and tequila. Therefore, Elon Musk is an alien. So I think, pew pew, good firing range, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Elon Musk is an alien.
I mean, if you didn't see that one, he acts like an alien.
Look at the name of his son.
Yes.
But here's a question. Are there any really high definition photos of Elon Musk? That would be the real determining factor.
I just put
He
Elon's
allows
grandmother on my background.
Well
And
done.
Jared's
as an
grandmother.
alien. Grandma as an alien.
Awesome job, Murphy.
I've got friends who sincerely believe that is the case. And we go on, they've had me join them on intergalactic mental journeys to the interspace, whatever that finds our other dimensions. Okay. Why not?
Can we do that one night on a podcast?
Okay. Yeah.
Traveling
Like, something
podcast.
would be
Why not?
friendly.
That would be so
Yeah.
fun. We could all like interdimensionally travel on a
Mhm.
podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's great. It's great. Just imagine how things could be and just act like that's happening. It's great. Wow. I think so. I think that we can expand our minds and let all the aliens come and tell us what they want us to know, and we can net the sky. Well,
Yep.
I do think, Joe, with your new fancy organization with like letters and numbers like 5 and C's and 3's, you should be hosting something. You should be having a party.
We are going to do a party at Infocom. Please come. We're going to have a nice party. We have
time from now.
It's going to be when we can see each other. You know what? If you come to Vegas next month, I'll make sure I have a vendor to buy us drinks. I mean, I will buy a cocktail for us.
Maybe.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Well, Nancy's going to go, right?
Hopefully.
She's going to get her Minnesota.
I'm hoping
people.
it'll be me versus my sales guy.
But if he's your sales guy, you could pick to go.
But although Joe could say, you know what, I would
I need
prefer
to
for
see
Nancy.
that
to be
Nancy
there.
lady.
All I'm saying is I'm currently in the process of running a proof of concept for various assisted listening systems.
Oh,
Oh,
excellent.
That's all I'm going to say. I mean, she knows that considering I have one in my place and she sent it to me, but that's all right, But anyway, you can find me at Josiah Way on all the socials. And of course, HiredAV at HiredAV and @_org.
You're kind of leading us into something, Joe.
You like how I did that?
Well, we may, what do you guys think? Have we done what we came here to do today?
I think, yeah, it's
Are we
fun.
landing it?
Yeah.
Are we landing it? All right. So I would like you all to let everyone know, just like Joe did, how to find you on the socials or how to reach out to y'all. So go ahead and start with it, James.
You can reach out to me on Twitter, AV_James King. You can swing by Higher Ed AV Digital Magazine, my IT and AV column, or you can catch my new program with Steve Greenblatt, Ask the Programmer.
Kim?
I am Kim with a Y, so KYMFRANK on Twitter and just about everywhere else. And no need to hunt me down though. Please, no stalkers.
Only the aliens.
I don't want to hear from Elon Musk after this episode.
Hear from the aliens and their cats. Nancy?
And you can find me on Twitter at Nancy Blanchard. That's the same for on LinkedIn at Nancy Blanchard. Or if you want to email me, I'm Nancy B as in boy, at williamsav.com.
And I am Written by Murphy. I'm Murphy Daily. You can find me at Written by Murphy on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and all the socials. And you can always find me here on the AV Life podcast. Thank you all for this episode. This is a lot of fun. Just us having a party. So until our next adventure.
That's the Tim thing to say. Now watch me play the outro music, everybody, as we all rock out.
Everyone find a seat real quick. Good job.
Good job.
And hold on, I haven't hit stop record yet. This is bonus content. Bonus content. What are we giving the people?
Do we get to cuss now?